Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be working on this With God Nothing Shall Be Impossible page kit. And all the supplies that I use will be listed in the video description. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take out the cardstock cutouts from our kit and the paints. And we're going to be painting the first one a dark blue. If you want your layout to look the same as mine, then you want to make sure it's the right tree line and you want to make sure that it's facing the right way. And I'm taking the blue paint directly from the paint tub. I'm not mixing it with anything. And I'm painting 2 to 3 coats to make sure it's one solid color. And I don't show me doing this because I learned after the fact. Make sure when you're painting that you paint the top part of the paper as well, the tree line, so that it doesn't show the white when you put it on your layout. So paint the front of the tree line and the tops of the tree line. For the next tree line, I'm going to be combining some of the navy blue with the white paint in my paint palette. And this is to make a lighter blue than the one that I started off with. You want to make sure you keep more blue than you have white. So maybe about 2 parts blue, 1 part white. And you mix that together so that you have enough to paint multiple coats on this one tree line. Again, make sure that you have the tree line facing the right way. Our next mixture is going to be more navy blue, and then this time it'll be more white. So it'll be probably half and half, like half blue mixture and half white mixture. So you see, by adding white, you lighten the color, but by adding it to the same original blue, it all stays within the same color family, and it just kind of has this ombre looking effect of getting lighter and lighter each time you go up. Now for this last blue one, I'm actually taking a lot of white and just adding a little bit of my leftover mixture to it so that it's a very light blue. We're going to be using this for the sky. So if you ran out of your previous mixture, then you'd start with white and just keep adding a little bit of blue until you have it to the light blue color that you want, that you think is good for a sky. If you're worried about getting the paint on the words of your book, then you can put some washi tape around it. I'm just being very careful as I go around the margins of this book, and I'm just using the same blue. I'm not adding anything different into it. Sometimes some of the darker blue from my brush, since I'm using the same brush as before, will get on it, and I'm just going with that. I think it adds more depth to it. So I'm just going all the way around. And then I'm not going to worry about the bottom part because that's going to be covered up. So here I'm adding even a little more white because I decided when I was done that it was too dark and I didn't like how dark the sky was. So you can play around. The thing with acrylics is that if you don't like it, you can paint right over it and it won't bleed through to the other side. So there is no prep that you need to do for this page. So adding even more white, I just keep adding more layers until it's the right color that I like. And any of these layers will work because they're all in the same color family. It's just personal preference of how light you want your sky to be. Now I'm going to be using my purple and I'm going to be adding some white paint to that purple to lighten it up a little bit. And I'm going to paint a couple of coats on the bigger of the little cardstock mountains. And once that's dry, I'm going to then add even more white so that it's a lighter purple, and I'm going to use that to paint the small mountain version. And again, I'm going to paint a couple coats onto that and then let it dry. Starting at the base of my footnotes, I'm going to attach this piece of cardstock, but I'm going to leave the top part of it unsticky so that I can slide some of the mountain pieces underneath it. This is just a good way to make sure your spacing is going to work out with what you have. So we're going to line that right up against that line in the words so that you're not covering up any of the words, and then bring it into the binding. And then when that's secure, we're going to take the next set of mountains, which will be your bigger set, and we're going to kind of measure where we want those to be. And then we're going to add the sticky to the entire thing, especially the tops of the trees, because they're really fragile and they could break easy. So you want to make sure it's all stuck really well. And I have some of the tree line is hanging off the end of my book, and that's okay. I'm just going to take a pair of scissors at the end and trim it all. So it's okay if it's too big for your page. We're going to clean that up. Now we're going to take the two smaller purple mountains, and I'm actually going to glue them to each other before putting them in my book. And then when I have them both like really right in line with each other, then I'm going to apply it to my book. And I'm going to stick it underneath the blue mountains so that it lines up. And then I'm going to glue down the top of the blue mountain. Now I'm going to use some of the colors that I have left over, and I'm going to paint the other side to match these mountain ridges so that it kind of brings it across the other side of the page and just makes it look more completed instead of just stopping so abruptly. So you can see here that I don't have any of my other purple left. I just have the light purple. So I'm going to have to do the light purple first, and then I'm going to add a little bit more of the darker purple into it to make that middle color so I can finish this side of the margin. Next, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut off anything that's hanging off of my page and just clean that up. Now I'm going to attach the clear sticker above the mountains, and you can see that my page is flattened as I have had it closed and let it sit for a little bit, so don't worry if your page is curling. Finally, we're going to take the leftover materials and make our tab out of it, first by adding the With God sticker to the middle of the tab, and then we're going to attach the tab to the top of our page by just putting adhesive on the bottom part of the tab so that the part sticking up above the page doesn't have any adhesive on it. And we will put that down using the two sets of washi tape that we have, first using the blue and then using the grid. And we will be done with this page. I hope you guys had fun learning how to lighten colors by adding white paint and by making layers using cardstock cutouts. Make sure you subscribe so you can be aware when we have other new videos come out, and we will see you again next time. See you later. Bye.